latest technology, now on multiple smart devices for total convenience. Welcome to H&B New World Banking.
A very good evening to you. This is News First Primetime News coming to you live on MTV Sports and Shakti TV from our News First studios here in Colombo. I am Shahin Jurampati.
And I'm Katrina Chang. Let's first take a look at your headlines tonight.
Chief Justice's media spokesperson says the Chief Justice has not resigned. Ajit Niwad Kabwal and Sajin Divas Gunawardhana's passports seized. Special commission chaired by the Prime Minister to investigate large-scale fraud and corruption. Investigation launched into a former IGP's involvement with drug baron Vele Sudha, a revelation from the police media spokesperson.
Media spokesperson for the Chief Justice, Attorney at Law Vijay Ratna Kodipilli says that Chief Justice Mohan Piris has not resigned from his position. Speaking to the media this evening, he noted that Mohan Piris continues to function as the Chief Justice.
Last evening, Minister Rajitha Senaratne revealed that Chief Justice Mohan Piris had agreed to resign following discussions with the Prime Minister.
Minister, what about reinstating Shirani Bandaranaike?
That is not yet decided. Anyway, the Chief Justice has agreed to resign. He had agreed to the Prime Minister yesterday. The Prime Minister informed.
When is he resigning? In 2 years' time?
No, immediately.
Meanwhile, Attorney at Law Vijay Ratna Kodipilli, identifying himself as the media spokesperson for the Chief Justice, convened a media briefing at the premises of the Supreme Court. The Honourable Chief Justice Mohan Piris has not submitted a letter of resignation to the government, and neither has he made a statement that he would resign. Thereby, on the instructions of the Honourable Chief Justice Mohan Piris, I wish to inform the media and all citizens that the Honourable Chief Justice Mohan Piris has not resigned from his position. I also request all media to cease repeating that false statement. I am Attorney at Law Vijay Ratna Kodipilli. I made this statement on the instructions of the Chief Justice. I cannot make any other statement at the time. Questions were raised regarding the matter of the Chief Justice's resignation at the media briefing on cabinet decisions held today.
He accepted it. It was spoken about at the cabinet meeting yesterday. He had come yesterday to meet the President. At that time, the cabinet meeting was underway. He had requested for an audience with the President at 8:30 this morning. The Chief Justice had made a request in writing to meet the President at 8:30 this morning.
ඊයේ හමුවීමට බැරි නිසා එතුමා ලිඛිතව යවුවා අද උදේ 8 මාර්ට එතුමාව හම්බ වෙන්න කියලා. හැකියාව තියෙනවා ඊට. ඔතනතුමා මේ එතුමාගේ මාධ්‍ය ප්‍රකාශක කියලා පොලිස් පිළිතුරු ප්‍රකාශ කළා මෙන්න මොන දැන්දිවක් කරලා නැහිලා අත්තුමා. ඉතින් ඒක අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාගෙන් අහන්න කියන්නේ. මයි මාධ්‍ය ප්‍රකාශකට කියන්නේ. එයාට කියන්න පුළුවන්. මම දන්නේ නැහැ.
I did not know that he has a media spokesperson too. I only know now that Chief Justices have media spokespersons. So we first need to look into the behavior of Chief Justices. Can they have media spokespersons?
Meanwhile, when News First made inquiries, Justice Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa noted that although the Chief Justice had made an appointment to meet with the President and the Prime Minister, he did not turn up for this meeting. The President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, Upul Jayasuriya, noted that the BASL Executive Committee would meet on Saturday and decide on whether they will continue to act under the current Chief Justice. The Cabinet has decided to appoint a special commission that will look into the large-scale fraud that had allegedly taken place in the past. Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne, speaking to reporters, said that Cabinet approval has been granted for the establishment of the Anti-Corruption Committee, comprising of members recommended by the National Executive Council.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe chairs the committee, which comprises of 11 members. The committee members are Ministers Mangala Samaraweera, Patli Champika Ranawaka, Rauf Hakim, MPs R. Sambandhan, Anura Kumara Dissanayaka and M.A. Sumandiran, as well as Sarath Fonseca. Dr. Jayampati Vikramaratne, Attorney at Law J.C. Valyamuna and Malik Samaravikrama. As per the instructions of this commission, a rapid response committee will be in operation coordinated by MP Anurakumara Disanayaka. The Rapid Response Committee will comprise of police officers, state officials, attorneys and specialists in finance and audit. A committee is chaired by Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa and comprises of Ministers Partili Champika Ranaweka, Mangala Samaravira and Rauf Hakim.
The Monetary Intelligence Unit of the Central Bank of India has already agreed to send us their specialists. In addition, specialists attached to the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund and related sectors have rendered their assistance to us to come to Sri Lanka and commence the investigations. A bill that will allocate provision for the revelation of undeclared assets will be introduced, and this committee was established with the following members to enact an institution with powers to eradicate corruption and fraud.
Meanwhile, another committee chaired by the Prime Minister has also been appointed to re-review the large-scale projects including the Port City project and the Northern Expressway. The other members of the committee are Minister Partile Champika Ranaweka, Raj Disenaratne, Mangala Samaravira and Arujuna Ranatunga.
The Cabinet has taken the decision to abolish the position of Army Media Spokesperson. Thereby, the Director of the Media Centre for the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development has been transferred to the Sri Lanka Army Headquarters, while Brigadier Jana Chavira has been appointed temporarily as the new military spokesman.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Rajitha Senaratne said today that President Maithripala Sirisena has called for an explanation from the newly appointed Defence Secretary on the statement he made regarding the former Defence Secretary.
We have to control even the further other secretaries to follow. So we are going to take action against the Defence Secretary. Already the President has called for explanation. Information will be available, but not for them to, without just discussing with the particular minister, just to announce things.
The Cabinet Media spokesperson speaking further expressed the following views.
The Secretary of Defence and the Army Media spokesperson have made statements to protect the previous Secretary of Defence. The Army Media spokesperson says that the funds were redirected to the Treasury as per the policy of the new government. This means that he does not know what the government's financial policy is. Yesterday, a decision was made. When a state official makes a statement to the media, that statement needs to be made in accordance with the Establishment Code. That needs to be followed. The Establishment Code clearly says that no state official is allowed to make a statement to the media without written permission of the Secretary to the Ministry. What we discussed was that the post of Army Media spokesperson is not necessary, let alone the post of Police Media spokesperson.
Meanwhile, details of large-scale dealings were also revealed to the media.
Yeah, now we have got information. There was a foreign party who gave us information about some billions of dollars in certain very hierarchy people's accounts. So, but they said after forming the government in 2 weeks' time, they will come to the country and they will give all the bank account details. So we are expecting them to come here and to give the details. Now already one of the top class experts in the world, who is a Sri Lankan, who has built a software for American Space Agency, and he has got billions of dollars, and that out of that some few hundreds of millions, it came here, and that money had been, by threatening him and forcefully, it had been deposited into one of the very hierarchy people's accounts. So, day first I got him down to Sri Lanka. So he has got about some billions of dollars in his accounts in the American banks, what he was getting from the patent rights. So when they transferred, but he had acted with these people to get down the money to Sri Lanka for development. And when he had got down, so it had been, they have tried to deposit that money into another very big man's account. So 4 days before the elections, one of the top class people, he spoke to this man and said not to reveal anything, that they will return the money back. And he had said that by that time this person was in Singapore because he was fearing for his life. He left the country. Then he was contacted. Then a letter has been sent by the secretary, one of the assistant secretaries to that particular big man, accepting and promising to return the money into his account. We have all the documents in our hands.
Welcome back to the news. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption says that it has decided to seize the passports of former Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Niwad Cabral, and former monitoring MP for the Ministry of External Affairs, Sajin Divas Gunawardena, for a period of 3 months. Chairman of the Commission, former Supreme Court Justice Jagat Balapata said that this measure was taken until the investigations into complaints made are investigated. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Commission denied the allegations made by the JVP. Yesterday, the JVP made a request for the chairman of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption to resign from his position. The JVP cited an allegation made against the commissioner of the reason as seeking for his resignation. The JVP Sunil Handunnetti, also commenting on the matter, said that the commissioner, while serving as a justice of the Supreme Court, had obtained a vehicle from the automobile company in question while a case against the company was being taken up. The chairman of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption denies all these allegations. This order was issued on the 30th of June 2008 by the then Chief Justice Sarath Silva, Justice Amaratunga and Justice Sri Pavan. I was not there. I have the verdict here. I have the verdict issued by the bench and the names of those on the bench. In addition, Handunnetti says that I obtained this vehicle from the plaintiff, in that case, who was Harsha De Silva. This is the registration of that vehicle. This vehicle was purchased on the 13th of January 2011, about a year after I retired from Kondagamage Samansumanasiri on Pirivena Road, Mount Lavinia. They have presented this allegation with the intent of slinging mud at me. At a time when we are going ahead with the work of this commission free of any pressure from anyone, we ask that these groups please stop making false statements and slinging mud at us.
Police state that they have launched investigations into alleged dealings between a former IGP and the drug baron known as Veli Sudha. At a media briefing convened today, the police media spokesperson noted that a Colombo district parliamentarian has also been implicated in the investigations into Veli Sudha.
Veli Sudha, එමනත්තං සමන්ත කුමාර කිසිම අවස්ථාවක මෙම මත්කුඩු පාණයට ඇබ්බැහිවීමක් වෙලා නැහැ.
Samantha Kumara alias Veli Sudha is not a drug addict. This is a picture of Veli Sudha obtained 3 years ago. This was a picture taken 10 minutes ago. He has brought a consignment of drugs on the 12th of January 2015 and has also been carrying out drug dealings in India, Singapore, Pakistan and Dubai. He brings down drugs from Pakistan. There are 2 more people who are involved in this drug racket. One individual is a resident from Kot Tower, while the other suspect is a resident from Maradana. According to his statement, he says that a parliamentarian sends him money, and 2 sub-inspectors and a police sergeant are also involved. This is the information that we have obtained through his statement.
Police සැරේන්වරයෙක් අතර මොහුගේ සබඳතාවයක් තිබිච්ච බවට. මොහුගේ ප්‍රකාශයෙන් මේ කරුණු තමයි අනාවරණය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
We have received information that the former IGP is involved.
Veli
Sudha has not confessed such information. However, we are interrogating the 6 other suspects. During these interrogations, it has been revealed that there was a dispute over obtaining property and that a third party is also involved. We will carry out investigations on this and we will reveal more information in the days to come.
If information has come to light on this matter and a confirmation is received, will the IGP in question be arrested and will his property be confiscated?
We will definitely take action against him. There is nothing to hide.
Newsfirst made further inquiries from SSP Ajit Rohan over the phone regarding the alleged involvement of a former IGP and a Colombo district parliamentarian with Veli Sudha.
Can you reveal who this prominent Colombo district politician is?
I would have mentioned it at the media briefing if I could have. I cannot reveal it until there is more information.
Has it at least been revealed which party he is from?
We will conclude the investigation soon, and until then, I cannot tell you anything more than what I mentioned at the briefing. We will mention the name and other information when the investigation is complete. There is a statement from a defendant. Once it is confirmed, we will reveal the name.
A former IGP has reportedly been implicated in the investigation. Can you reveal his name?
No, we are investigating it.
Why are the names of the accused not being revealed to the people?
We are protecting those names because in case they are proved innocent during the investigation, then we must be accountable. But
when it is mentioned as a former IGP, won't the people draw their conclusions about all former IGPs?
I can say that information has been submitted about someone who was in the foreign service.
President Maithripala Sirisena has ordered that foreign companies not be allowed to mine gemstones in Sri Lanka. The president made this statement while assuming his official duties as Minister of Mahaweli Development and Environment.
President Maithripala Sirisena assumed duties today as the Minister of Mahaweli Development and Environment. At the event, President Sirisena affirmed that the current government is in no way ready to allow foreign firms to take over the gem industry in the country.
It will be given solely to the local gem industry. No foreign firms will be allowed to engage in mining or any other associated activities. All we need to get from these firms is their technological expertise and methods of training. There is no need to go any further. From the 1st of February, sand mining and transport in the Polonnaruwa district will be stopped. Now, the Wildlife Environment Authority will survey all of this and submit a report in about 2 weeks that will disclose to the sand industry which areas to engage in sand mining in, as well as what to do and what not to do. For now, all that is being surveyed is which areas to mine sand and which areas to not. Stop all this in the Polonnaruwa district on the 1st of February. Allow nothing to happen that endangers the environment.
Meanwhile, the Presidential Media Unit stated that the President has taken steps to appoint a new panel of officials for the institutions that come under the purview of the Ministry of Mahaweli Development and Environment.
A demonstration was organised at the premises of the University of Colombo, demanding that the Vice-Chancellor of the university step down.
Members of the Federation of University Teachers Association displayed placards as a mark of protest opposite the College House. They called on the Vice-Chancellor and presented a letter demanding the Vice-Chancellor's resignation. When this new government was elected, they promised that they will ensure the independence of the universities subsequent to discussions. Therefore, we kindly request from the Vice-Chancellor to resign immediately while maintaining this dignity and self-respect. Roads in Colombo considered as falling within the high security zones have been reopened. This took place under the directive of Minister of Public Order, Disaster Management and Christian Affairs, John Amarathunga.
Minister of Public Order, Disaster Management, Christian Affairs, John Amarathunga convened a press conference at his ministry today. A number of senior police officers were also present for the briefing.
The first step is to remove the barriers of the high security zone. Accordingly, the road that leads to Baron Jayathilaka Mawatha from the President's house will be free of any barricades and the public will be allowed to freely use the roads. There will be no security perimeter in the areas except for the security details at the entrance to the President's house.
Subsequently, the minister took measures to reopen the roads surrounding temple trees and the President's house. Accordingly, Janadipati Mawatha, Sir Baron Jayathilaka Mawatha and York Street, which were closed for vehicular transportation earlier, will be opened for the public. Vehicles that were parked for a period of time in order to prevent transportation along these roads also caught the attention of the minister.
කෝටි ගණන් වටින වාහන. දැන් මේවා මට ආරංචි හැටියට
These vehicles are worth millions. As I have been made aware, these vehicles were used by the Presidential Division. I still do not understand who used 1,600 vehicles. I will request the President and Prime Minister to distribute these vehicles among the ministries.
Minister of Housing and Samurdhi, Sajith Premadasa, says that his wages as a minister and other privileges will be transferred to the Housing Fund. He made this statement after assuming duties today.
Minister of Housing and Samurdhi, Sajith Premadasa, assumed duties in his ministerial portfolio at the Housing and Samurdhi Ministry in Setsiripaya this afternoon, subsequent to receiving the blessings of the Mahasangha.
We don't implement private political projects. The only political project I've got is to build houses. My only goal in my political journey is to eradicate poverty. I'm not going to accept any official vehicle from this ministry. I'm redonating all 3 vehicles to the ministry. I will, however, obtain the vehicle and fuel allowance. I'm taking them not for myself. I will take that and invest the money into the State Housing Development Fund monthly. I don't hope to use an official residence. I will obtain all the funds allocated for the maintenance of the official residence and hope to legally transfer the money into the Housing Development Fund. Likewise, I do not hope to get a salary. I will allocate the salary for housing development. This is an example of my contribution towards good governance. Within 100 days, we hope to construct 300 houses in 160 electorates and to provide shelter for around 50,000 persons. Whoever wins or loses in the next election, the president will be Maithripala Sirisena and Ranil Wickremesinghe, the prime minister. We will take the country forward as one. We are hoping to create a national government in the coming 2 years.
The minister also handed over his official vehicles to the ministry.
Minister of Tourism and Sports Navin Dissanayake says that a committee will be appointed immediately to inquire into irregularities in the Ministry of Sports. He made this statement today after assuming duties in his office. Deputy Minister Vasantha Senanayake too assumed duties today.
The Deputy Minister of Tourism and Sports Vasantha Senanayake assumed duties today at the first floor office of the Ministry of Sports.
Subsequently, Minister Navin Dissanayake assumed office. His office is located on the 4th floor of the Ministry of Sports. After officially assumed duties, the Minister and Deputy Minister participated at a media briefing. Please do not transfer the hurt and pain that I had to undergo as a Deputy Minister on Deputy Minister Vasantha Senanayake. He has the complete freedom to act as he sees fit in this ministry. In truth, I think that he could have been given a far better non-state or cabinet ministry. That did not happen. But I say to him, brother, learn this lesson from me. Act with patience. I make a promise to the country in the name of my father that I will not make a historic decision again. I will make historic decisions from within the UNP itself. If that does not work, then I will not have any problems. I will go home and I will return to court to practice my profession as a lawyer. Minister Sajith Premadasa too is assuming duties today. He is now 48 years old. I am 45. When our fathers were our age, they had already accomplished a great deal. Do not compare that era and this. We have time. We must receive more experiences. We will have to create the most organized economy in Asia. I have faith that we will be able to do this. The minister also explained the future course of action for the ministry. If there were any irregularities which occurred at the Ministry of Sports, then I hope to appoint a committee to inquire into this, a fact-finding committee. We will announce the composition of this committee next week. They will submit a report to me in 1 month. I do not like to just point fingers at people. The cricket board too will come under my purview. The current cricket board has elected members.
දැනට තිබෙන ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලය. දැනට ඒක තේරී පත්තු ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලය. This is not an interim committee.
Therefore, I cannot change any of the officials on the board. My main aim is that these officials must fulfill the task entrusted to them. 1, 2 or 3 officials cannot do the work of all the other officials. Do the work that you have been assigned. Do not interfere in the work of others. As a minister, I will not interfere in the work entrusted to another minister. Thereby, I call on the officials of the cricket board too to please fulfill the task entrusted to them. Do not try to do the work of others. We wish to clearly state that in our time we will not interfere and that we will assist sports by giving due consideration to suitable people in a manner that will allow talent to come forth. I wish to clearly state to you, now my friends, that any political action we take in the sports sector will only be to uplift sport and not to grant personal favours or privileges. We both love the sport of cricket. We both have some heritage there.
අපි දෙන්නම ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාවට ආදරේ. අපි දෙන්නටම මෙතන පොඩි උරුමයකුත් තියෙනවා.
Deputy Minister Vasantha Senanayake later arrived at the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, which is attached to the Ministry of Tourism.
And on business news tonight, our correspondents have reported that although fuel prices were reduced with effect from midnight yesterday, some filling stations have not been adhering to the price revisions.
Following inquiries, the chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation stated that this may have been because following the price reduction, the stocks of petrol were not sufficient, and also that the fuel pumps weren't recalibrated according to the revised prices.
From midnight yesterday, the price of a litre of 92-octane petrol was brought down by 33 rupees, whereas the price of a litre of diesel and kerosene were also reduced by 16 rupees each. Additionally, steps were taken to reduce the price of a litre of 95-octane petrol by 30 rupees and the price of a litre of super diesel by 23 rupees.
In truth, of the funds that belong to the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and the Ministry of Finance, it cost the government 65.5 billion rupees. We promised only 40 but gave relief of 65. We hope that this revision in price will benefit the transport sector, bring down the prices of consumer goods as well as provide relief to many other sectors. In future, we also hope to introduce a fuel price formula that will enable the general public to obtain their fuel according to a transparent program that will be devoid of any interference. We also hope to introduce a new tariff on power from the month of June.
However, in spite of the revision in prices, several consumers stated that the revision was not being followed at the pump. Minister Champika Ranaweka noted that the CPC has opened 4 hotlines for the public to inform them of such instances.
It has been reported that some filling stations were not providing fuel. We kindly request all filling station owners to pass on this concession to the people. But if they do not acquiesce to our kind request, then I must kindly inform them that we will resort to other actions against them.
Although world oil prices had fallen by close to 60% over the last 7 months, last night's fuel price revision reflects only a reduction of 7.5%. When taken as a whole, petrol prices have reduced by 28% over the past 7 months in Sri Lanka. Although the price of crude oil has now fallen to about $48 per barrel, as of November, the CPC was still importing crude oil at $77 per barrel.
In truth, they said that they would remove all the taxes on fuel. We asked the subject minister whether there are no taxes being charged on fuel at present. In the world market, oil prices have fallen rapidly. They could have reduced it more. This is not the amount that they should be selling it at. They are still charging taxes. We challenge the subject minister to say to the country, if he can, that he is or is not charging taxes on fuel. They did not say they would reduce fuel prices. They said they would remove taxes on fuel. If they had removed all the taxes on fuel, the price would have reduced further. This should help you all understand what a cruel regime they were running in terms of essential public services, while ranting away about the motherland and claiming to love your children. All of this went to pay for the dangerous level of corruption of this family and their corrupt projects. They earned money for their campaigning or for the previous election through the taxes on petrol, diesel and kerosene. A unique feature of the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime was that taxes were charged on essential goods and fuel. The Honourable Finance Minister and the Prime Minister will present a budget on the 29th that will provide concessions on these taxes on essential food items.
Meanwhile, Lanka IOC too have reduced prices at their filling stations parallel to the reduction in prices by Sipetco. A litre of extra premium 95-octane petrol will however be sold at 131 rupees.
The president of the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association, Gemstones, states that they are ready to reduce the bus fares in line with the reduction of fuel prices.
We are ready to provide the concession obtained through the reduction in fuel prices to the public. We see a fluctuation of around 7 to 8%. The minimum fare would vary from 8 to 9 rupees.
A panel discussion organized by the Global Shapers Colombo Hub on how youth can rebuild Sri Lanka's political system was held at the Lakshman Kadirgama Institute yesterday. The Global Shapers Colombo Hub is a part of the Global Shapers community that is present in over 150 countries and is an initiative of the World Economic Forum.
Dinuk, I think that's your fault.
The panel discussion, which was held under the theme Conflict Resolution, the role of youth in rebuilding a nation's political system, was moderated by Mahina Bongso.
Quite recently, we saw again a huge participation of youth in the decision-making process of this country, and that was during the recently concluded presidential election, where 1 million new voters played a key role in this country's historic election. And this 1 million voters were in fact the youth.
The panel consisted of a group of young journalists, politicians and authors, as well as former Sri Lankan diplomat Dr. Tilaka.
Take the topic of rebuilding the political system. But the way I see it in Sri Lanka, the political system has proved beyond reasonable doubt that it needs enormous improvement. But it also has shown that it works. But you do have to clean up, re-energize, refocus, give new direction and so on to the political system, change the political culture, which is where it started. It's not so much rebuilding the political system, but it's certainly in changing the software.
Dr. Jayatilaka also spoke on youth leadership.
Let's try to get used to a new term, youth-led. Why only youth as the subjects, not just as a problem, but youth as the subjects of policy, youth as the ones who are in the baggage train, youth as the ones who are at the bottom, youth as just a vote bank. But why not youth-led policy process, youth-led process of change, youth as the vanguard?
In sports, we start off with cricket news. Sri Lanka national team manager Michael de Zoysa says that more opportunities will be given to players who are in the provisional World Cup squad when making a decision on the final 11 that will face New Zealand in the 5th ODI tomorrow.
Now, speaking to Sports First from New Zealand, de Zoysa notes that Lasith Malinga did participate in training today.
The 5th ODI of Sri Lanka's tour of New Zealand will work off tomorrow at the University Oval in Dunedin. Reports indicate that Lasith Malinga's participation is uncertain owing to a persisting ankle injury. However, team manager Michael de Zoysa said that they expect Lasith Malinga to be fit tomorrow after he participated in training today.
In Dunedin now, preparing for the 5th ODI. The weather has been very bright and sunny today. A bit cold, maybe about 20 degrees in the morning. Now we are hoping that there will be some changes, but we can't tell you what they will be, because we'll be trying to make use of the players who haven't played so far in the World Cup squad in these last 3 games. Kuranga Lakmal, Damika Prasad, Dinesh Chandimal, or will be looking for the chance to play. And the final team will only be picked in the morning tomorrow.
Tomorrow's match will commence at 3:30 a.m. Sri Lankan time. New Zealand lead the 7-match series 2-1.
Now, following the reduction of fuel prices last night, former Minister Vimal Weerawangsa extended a challenge to Subject Minister Partly Champika Ranawaka. Minister Ranawaka had an interesting response.
Now we leave you tonight with a recap of their statements. I'm Katharina Chang.
And I'm Shine Jirampati. Good night and take care.
In truth, they said that they would remove all the taxes on fuel. We asked the subject minister whether there are no taxes being charged on fuel at present. In the world market, oil prices have fallen rapidly. They could have reduced it more. This is not the amount that they should be selling it at. They are still charging taxes. We challenge the subject minister to say to the country, if he can, that he is or is not charging taxes on fuel. They did not say they would reduce fuel prices. They said they would remove taxes on fuel. If they had removed all the taxes on fuel, the price would have reduced further. This should help you all understand what a cruel regime they were running in terms of essential public services, while ranting away about the motherland and claiming to love your children. All of this went to pay for the dangerous level of corruption of this family and their corrupt projects. They earned money for their campaigning or for the previous election through the taxes on petrol, diesel and kerosene. A unique feature of the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime was that taxes were charged on essential goods and fuel. The Honourable Finance Minister and the Prime Minister will present a budget on the 29th that will provide concessions on these taxes on essential food items.